Hey everyone, welcome back. My name is Andrea and I'm the host here at the Knitting PT YouTube channel. This is where I talk about all things knitting and fiber related and also some wellness thrown in because I'm an orthopedic physical therapist and I share maker self-care reels and tips on Instagram. I have a lot of things in my shop available for purchase to help you take care of your wrists and your hands and your entire body so you can keep crafting. Links to anything are down below, including links to my shop where you can find all my on-demand videos, my wrist and hand care kits, which will be coming back for restock in the next 2 weeks. So keep your eyes peeled if you've been waiting for a restock of these. I'll be announcing on Instagram and I'll post a quick post here on YouTube too if I remember. Yeah, but otherwise, that'll be coming in 2 weeks. So if you're new here, welcome. If you're coming back, welcome back. I've been away for a little bit, unintentionally took a short break from making videos. Summertime is kind of busy with having kids in and out of summer camp, and just our weekends have been really busy too, with lots of friends and family coming over to visit for the day. So yeah, there's just been a lot of stuff going on. So I'm glad to finally be able to sit down and find some time to record an episode and to share with you everything that I've been up to, because there's been a lot. So let's get into it. All right, so first off, what I'm wearing, this is the Slightly Sassy V. This is a new pattern that just released last week by Amy Scher, and I test knit this for her. And let me stand up so you can see the whole thing here. So it is a raglan, top down raglan, and it is a compound raglan. So what that means is that instead of the usual raglan increases where it's like, raglan increase, knit straight, raglan increase, knit straight. The raglan increases are they're spaced differently so that you get this nice curve coming down here into your armpit so that it doesn't create like a lot of fabric here in your armpit, okay? And I find that they work really well. This is the second compound raglan pattern that I've knit. This is also coincidentally also by Amy Scher. The other one was the coloring book tee, which I just knit last year, which if you've seen my all the tees I've knit ever video, that one is on there too. So this is a Slightly Sassy V. It is top down in the round, so no seaming, and I really like it. Yeah. So let's see. Let me talk you through the details. So you've got the compound raglan, you've got the V-neck, which is finished off with an I-cord finish here, and I like it. The V is not too deep. You might have seen from my other video, I have a lot of summer tees where the V is quite deep, where I feel like I absolutely must wear something underneath just for my own comfort level. And with this, I don't feel that at all. Yeah. And you've got ribbing, finishing details here. Yeah. So I knit the size C, which is a 40-inch chest circumference, and that gives me about 5 inches of positive ease. And I knit it with no bust darts because there is an option to add bust darts if you need, and the pattern will walk you through figuring out if you need bust darts, and if you need bust darts, which size of bust darts. I think there's 1 inch and 2 inch options. And then I knit the high hip length, and it's written for cropped or high hip. And on me, so let's see, my navel is right here. Okay, my waistband of my pants is kind of right here. I'm wearing high-waisted shorts. So yeah, I'm really happy with the length. If you see, if I raise my arms up, still plenty of coverage. The pattern has lots of different views, which is, again, I feel like a hallmark of Amy's patterns at this point. So I knit the view, I don't remember the name, view A, maybe the short sleeve one. The other view is a like 3/4 length or long sleeve view. Yeah, so I'm really happy with this pattern. I would knit it again. And so if you're interested in adding a V-neck raglan to your wardrobe, I say go for it. Yeah, and it's out now. All right, the other finished object I have to show you is another test knit. And this is by Samantha Guerin. This pattern will be out probably in August because the test knit is not due until mid to late July, and I finished her early. So here it is, ready? So this is the Summer Saunter tee. It's another V-neck, but as you can see, it's a drop shoulder V-neck, okay? So different construction. It is also still top down. but it's, you know, it's not a raglan like this one is. It's a drop shoulder. You can see it's very drapey and airy. Oh, I forgot to say why I knit this in. So this is in little skein in the big wool and the smooth sock base, which is, I believe, 100% merino. Maybe like 80% merino, 20% nylon. I don't remember the breakdown. And this is the colorway Hester Gray's Garden, inspired by Anne of Green Gables. Okay, back to this one. So a Summer Saunter V, test knit by Samantha Guerin. I also knit the 40-inch size in this one. And yeah, I'm not going to talk too much about it because it's not going to be out yet. When it's out, I will wear it on my podcast and talk about it more in detail. But just to show you, you can see it's got a really pretty kind of, what's the word? Like eyelet neckline. Okay. And folded over hems for the sleeves and for the bottom hem here. Yeah. And I knit mine, this is a DK weight design. So Samantha's sample is in a, I think it's a silk linen merino blend, I think. I knit mine in 100% linen. This is Camera Rose DK. I bought mine from La Mercerie online. You can see it's 100% linen. I don't know if you can see from here if you look close up, but it is a chainette construction. So instead of the yarn being, the fibers being plied, the fibers are chained together. And I found that that gave the yarn a little bit more elasticity, so it didn't hurt my hands as much. I still had to adjust how I held my yarn. I had to make sure I was holding things loosely and really loosening my grip a lot so that my hands didn't hurt. But it was actually a fairly enjoyable experience to knit with. It does feel like straw. And when I was done, the garment itself, I was like, this kind of does still feel like straw. But a lot of people online told me to throw it in the dryer and on the air fluff setting, and I did that, and it did soften up quite a bit. And Jess, the owner of La Mercerie, told me that she has a garment that's knit up in Camera Rose DK also, and this is the colorway Ac. And she said that hers has softened up so much with all the wear and over time. So I'm really looking forward to having this kind of just be my wardrobe and worn. I've worn it out already for all day, and it is very cool to wear. I mean, I wouldn't wear it when it's like 90 degrees and humid, but on like a 80s degree day with lower humidity, it's totally bearable and it totally works. And you can see it looks slightly translucent, but I didn't find it to be see-through or anything while I wore it. It was just really breathable and I really liked it. So I think actually I would knit something with this yarn again. I think I would. Yeah. It's a great summer fiber. You just gotta be conscious of how you're holding your yarn and your tension to make sure that your hands don't hurt, and to take breaks too if you need it. Yeah. So keep an eye out for this pattern coming out. I will talk about it more when it comes out. Okay, on to works in progress. So things have gotten slightly chaotic here. So I guess let's talk first about my newer cast-ons. I don't really know. I'm just going in the order of whatever is on top here, basically. So beginning of this year, I said that I was only going to do one test knit a quarter to limit, you know, my test knits and to allow myself more freedom to do knits that I'd been putting off that were in my queue, and to just have a creative refresh. So I've been doing really well sticking to that. Like, you know, this was my test knit for quarter 2. The Summer Saunter was supposed to be my test knit for quarter 3, which quarter 3 like literally just started like a week ago. But I signed up for another one for this quarter. Yeah. No regrets. And the main reason I signed up for it was for the discount on the yarn. And when I tell you what the yarn is, I think you'll understand. So, Alicia Plummer put out a call for a test knit, and it was for a tea, and the yarn that she used was Moondrake's Fua Fua, which you've heard me talk about on here before. I had, if you remember, I had one skein of it in a different colorway, and I bought it when I went to Do You Knit, and one skein cost $42. And you know, it is a luxury fiber. It is 70% brushed cashmere, 30% superwash merino, finger weight 315 yards for 50 grams. but it is $42. Understandably, because it's luxury. It's luxury. Like, look at it. So the thing is, if you got into the test knit, Moondrake was offering a discount on the yarn. And I could not resist that. Like, getting a discount on this yarn? Yeah. There was no way I was going to pass that up. And I think the discount in the end turned out to be like 10%, but a discount is a discount. I'm not complaining at all. I am happy to have had a discount. So I got this. This is called Softness. And it is a beautiful light blue. Light pastel-y, maybe icy-ish, tinge of ice blue. Yeah. And let me show you what my test knit looks like so far. So this is, I don't know if the name is finalized yet, but so far she's been calling it the Plenilune Tea. And I probably should have put on larger capers to show you, but I think you'll still get an idea. I really love it so far. I really do. So, here it is so far. Look how ethereal and light that looks. So I am about, right now, almost 2 inches into the body, and this all took one skein so far. Okay, so I have a second skein that I need to wind up to finish it. But here it is. So you can see that kind of garter and slight cable detail here. I think you'll see it better on the back where there's more space. Yeah. It is knit at a larger gauge, like I'm using size 8 needles, so it's going pretty fast. I've already bound off the sleeves. It is a short sleeve. I just need to pick up the neckline and bind it off too. So it'll be a really fast knit. Like, I think I'll be done with this by the next time I podcast for sure, you know. And this has been my nighttime knitting because it's test knit and I want to, you know, have it finished. And I think if I work on it every night for the rest of the week, I should have it done by the rest of the week. Yeah, it's super fast. Yeah, and I think it's going to be so light to wear. I don't know if it's really be a summer wear for me because, you know, brushed cashmere, it is, I can feel the warmth of it on my hand. But I think it's a great fall transitional top for sure. And yeah, just look at how pretty that is. Look how ethereal that is. Yeah, no regrets, no regrets. Yeah, so this is that. Yeah, I really like it so far. Yeah, I just have to keep showing you the texture because the texture is just so beautiful. Yeah. All right. So there's that I'm working on. Next, if you have not seen on Instagram, I am hosting a knit along with my friends Aro and Megan, Aro Knits and Pearls and Kimchi & Co. We're hosting a knit along for, I think it started July 1st and is going through, I think, August 15th. So like a month and a half. And it is for the, I'm trying to look for mine here. Where is it? Did I not bring it down? All right, I found it. It is for the Petal Party Crop by Samantha Guerin. And so we're hosting this knit along. You don't need to finish to be eligible for prizes. We are each giving away prizes. I think we're all each giving away a sweater quantity's worth of yarn and fingering weight. So if you want to be entered for prizes, all you have to do is post a photo on Instagram, tag it with the hashtag Petal Party Crop Cal, Petal Party Crop KAL, and that's how you enter for prizes. That's how you enter for prizes. Whips are welcome, so you don't have to have cast on July 1st. If you already had a Petal Party Crop on your needles, that is eligible. You don't have to finish to be eligible. Literally all you have to do is just cast one on and to be eligible and post a photo. That's really it. We're very low key about it. We're really not doing anything special about it. Like, you know, we're literally just making it together and we want to invite you to make one with us. And that was it. Yeah. So here's mine so far. So I'm doing mine in a discontinued yarn, which I didn't realize when I chose it, really. But it is by, I'm trying to look for it here. It's by Republic of Wool, who is no longer dyeing, sadly. She's like one of the original indie dyers, I feel like. So this is Republic of Wool, and this is the colorway Spiced Milk on her fingering base. Look at all those beautiful speckles. I think she was the first one that I became aware of about speckles. Her and House of Alamode. Yeah. Yeah, look at those speckles. They're just so fine. So crisp and delicate. All right. So here's what I got so far. I'm still on the back panel here. But look how beautifully that is knitting up. So I also talked about this pattern on my Every Tea I've Knit video. So you'll have seen the one I have there. So my first version is in blue. I probably should have brought it down here. Oh well. But I knit the second size in it, which I think is like a size like 36-inch chest circumference or something like that. And it fits great. I love the fit of it. It's a little bit more fitted. It's not negative ease. I think I have like an inch of positive ease. But it looks great with like skirts and dresses and everything. But it's a very fitted look. So for this second one, I decided to try something different. So I decided to go up a size. So I cast on the size C, which is a 40-inch chest circumference, which if you've noticed, I've been really liking 40-inch chest circumferences lately. Yeah, because this is a 40-inch, my summer Saunter is a 40-inch, this is a 40-inch. I'm just really liking the fit of that amount of positive ease these days. So this one is a 40-inch, so you'll see it'll go pretty much like this. And with that, that should mean that the neckline will be a little larger. The neckline on my original one, it does fit a little snugly against my neck. It's not uncomfortable, but it is, you know, closer to my neck. So this one will be a little further out, and the sleeves will also be a little further out down my arm. The sleeves on that one pretty much, I think, come to like here. So this one, the sleeves will probably come down a little further just because of the longer length. So I'm really excited to see how it looks, to kind of have a different fit to it too. Yeah. So I'm just working away on that, and yeah, really liking it. So if you are interested in joining, you can join now. You can cast on whenever, just within the time frame to be eligible for prizes. And you don't have to finish. We may not even finish, honestly, so we'll see. All right, my next work in progress to show you is the Karina Tea by Sari Nordland. It is a cabled tee. And I've been knitting mine in Knitting for Olive Pure Silk held double, which is what the pattern calls for. As you can see, I'm trying a lot of summer fibers these days. Really loving it. So here's what I've got so far. So I'm working on the front, and probably in another 2 inches, I'll be able to join the front and back and keep going down. Yeah. But yeah, just look at that. Look at those cables. It is so textured and lovely. Yeah. I haven't been working on this one as much. I actually haven't worked on it much at all in the past maybe 2 weeks since I started my Plenilune test knit and cast on the Petal Party crop. But once I finish my Plenilune test knit, I'll be returning to this one. Yeah. Actually, let's do a little. Yeah, so far it's looking pretty great. This is a pattern where I do need to kind of concentrate the whole time I'm doing it, just because you follow charts and that kind of thing. And the chart isn't, I think, at least not for me yet, to a point where I can like kind of memorize it and go with it. As you can see, there's a lot of things going on. So it is something where I need to knit on at night when no one else is disturbing me. So I'm just hoping to have this done by the end of summer. Because as you can see, the color is quite dark, so it is more of a fall palette color sometimes. So, you know, as long as it's ready to wear by fall, I could still wear it during fall, and yeah. So I'm knitting this in Knitting for Olive in the colorway Dark Cognac in their Pure Silk held double. All right, my next update is on my first Intarsia project, which I gave a peek of. I gave a look at on my Instagram. So this is the Patchwork Pullover by Claire Jackson of Perfectly Knotted. I'm knitting this in a bunch of Anna Green Gables colorways from Woolberry Fiber Co. from her Anna Green Gables collection last year. Okay, you ready? You know what's funny is as I'm holding this, I'm like, I don't know what's the front and the back. Ta-da! Yeah. I also haven't worked on this in a while. Basically, once I got to the second round and I cut all my ends to transition to third, I thought, oh, this is a great point where I can actually show it on the podcast without having like 10 balls of yarn hanging off of it. So it's just been waiting until the next time I podcast, basically. But yeah, I really like how it's looking so far. Yeah, it should be interesting. I say that because like I don't quite know how I feel about this hem color. It's a color that's really not me at all. But it does look really well with the rest of these colors. The sleeves will not be this color. The sleeves will be a different color, a different purpley color. But yeah, I really love how the patchwork itself is working up so far. Like I think the palette I chose works really well. They're all kind of warm tone colors, so nothing's like sticking out like a sore thumb, but all very harmoniously working together. But I feel like there's a good balance between like lighter and darker, brighter and moodier colors too. Yeah. I'll just be steadily working on this and also aim to have this done in the fall too. Yeah. So far, in terms of intarsia, it's actually much simpler than I thought it would be. I don't know, I didn't really know much about intarsia, but it's really very simple, and Claire's instructions in the pattern are also very clear about how to do it if it's your first time doing intarsia. Yeah, it was written very clearly, very easy to understand. I had no issues at all. So if you're looking to do a first intarsia project and you want to tackle something like this where you've got 10 balls of yarn going at the same time, then this is a great one to start with, I think. And my only tip for keeping your yarn organized is really what I do. So if you can't tell, I have a lot of knits that just are ones where I cannot bring them on the go and they just kind of sit in their spot. So this is one of them too. You know, there's the cabled tee and now there's this one. This one usually lives on the couch in my bedroom where I knit at night, and I have the balls of yarn all like laid out in a line next to me on the couch. I don't know if I have the photo, I'll post it here of what it looks like, but basically I have them all lined up so then once I'm done using a color and I'm moving on to the next one, I move the balls around so that they don't get tangled. And I remember when I posted that, a lot of people were asking me, is that a lot of work to keep like moving your balls of yarn around? And it's really not. Like, it's really not. Like, all you're doing is just picking one and moving it over, or like moving another one. Like, it takes a second. It's really not a lot of work. And you know what's a lot more work is untangling them all. Because when I did this first row, I was like, I'll just like keep knitting and I'll just keep picking up and I'll just untangle them later and it'll be fine. No, it took me like close to an hour to untangle all the 10 balls of yarn. That's how bad it was. So I will move balls underneath after every single color change if I need to, because that takes way less time and way less work than untangling 10 balls of yarn. Yeah. And if you don't feel like doing that kind of work, then don't knit intarsia. Don't knit this pattern. That's all there is to it. Yeah. But I'm really loving it. I'm really loving how it looks so far. Yeah. And there are a lot of ends, but what I did was I did weave in some ends. Every time I've been switching to a next color block, I've been weaving in my ends just so, because if you don't, you can have some little gaps until you weave in your ends, and I don't like looking at gaps, so I've just been weaving them in after every row, which is also going to help decrease how many ends I have to weave in at the very end. So yeah. So that is it for whips, I think. I feel like I went on and on for quite a bit about my whips. So I want to talk a little bit about future plans, which is, you know, who doesn't love talking about future plans, right? A lot of knitters and crocheters, I feel like when we are working on our current whips, we are always dreaming about our next cast-ons. So let me tell you about my next cast-ons. So one of them is I want to make another summer Saunter tee, the one I tested by Samantha Guerin, but I want to do this one in a different base. So I want to do this one in this. It's Penelope from Durham Natura, and this is 90% merino, 10% silk, another DK weight yarn. And this is also from La Mercerie online. If you can't tell, they're like my favorite store to shop from online right now. They have a lot of different kinds of fibers that are at a more affordable price point in addition to indie dyers, but I really like using them for these you know, non-merino brands. yeah, so this one, it feels so soft, and I really like this color. So I think my next summer saunter will be in this. I don't know when I'll cast it on yet. Ideally soon, but who knows? But that's what this is earmarked for. All right, and this is not something I'm going to cast on anytime soon, I think. Ideally, I would like to have it done by Rhinebeck maybe, but I have a lot of other things I need to knit for Rhinebeck, so probably not. Maybe for Vogue Knitting Live in February? Anyway, so I got this yarn recently from J'adore Fibers, my friend Shannon, and wait till you see it. So, are you ready? Look at this beautiful, gorgeous fade set. So this is called the Under the Sea Fade. She had a recent little mini collection release with Little Mermaid themed yarns. And so this fade set was part of that. I believe there's a little bit more left in her shop if you want to get it. She may or may not be dyeing more because dyeing fades is a lot of work. So if you really want this, I would go check it and go grab it. And this is on her Luminous Decay base, which is 70% merino, 30% silk. So ultra soft and glowy. So if you can see, this is such a beautiful fade, starting from this light blue here all the way to this darker, I don't know, darker, it's not teal, like aquamarine maybe? Yeah. So Shannon is really particular about fades. Like, she has a very stringent criteria for what is a fade and what isn't a fade. And frankly, I agree with her. I've seen some fades recently that are really not fades. They're just colors mashed together, calling a fade. But this is a fade. This is a true fade. And if you're gonna hate on me for saying that, oh well, like, come on. This is a true fade. And you know you've seen some projects out there that are calling themselves fades, which are not really fades. Anyway, so this is a true fade. And what I'm thinking I might knit with it. So the Fade Neve. I'm gonna be very, I'll just show you this picture on my phone. There, see that? I mean, I'm not choosing it because it's like the same colorways. That's just a coincidence. But I have seen this pattern before. This pattern's from several years ago. And yes, it's a lot of bobbles, which is why I'm a little undecided on it so far. But something like this. Andrew and Mary did have quite a number of patterns in the past years that were faded patterns. I know there's a So Faded cardigan also. So that's kind of maybe a contender, but I do really like the look of this one. Just don't know about the baubles, but yeah. Okay, so that is about it for this week's episode. I haven't really been spinning as much because I've been really busy with my knitting, with the kids. I've been busy with my wrist and hand care kit restocks and all sorts of things about that. I can't remember now if I mentioned in the beginning, but if you've been waiting for a wrist and hand care kit restock, there should be one coming in the next 2 weeks. I just got all my new inventory in, and I need to there's a small order, wholesale order kind of thing I need to ship out. But after that is done, I will be more organized and know how many kits of what I'll have available, and I will be announcing that over on Instagram. I want to say thank you so much for the wonderful reception to my All the Teas I Knit video. I'm really glad you guys enjoyed that and that you like seeing everything. I felt like it was kind of chaotic because I was like pretty much throwing on and off my teas, but I think that was really helpful for a lot of you to see how a tea wears. I certainly find that helpful when I see that too. So I'm really glad you guys enjoyed it. And, you know, I didn't want to make one of those videos that's like, you know, 10 summer teas to knit and I've never knit any of them. Like, what's the point of a video like that? Like, I don't know. When I'm watching videos and I'm looking for recommendations of things to knit, I want to know if you've knit it, and if you knit it, what you think about it. Like, it's useless to me if you're telling me you should knit this, but you've never knit it yourself, right? Like, that's not useful information. Like, I can go do that myself. I can go look on Ravelry. I can go look on Instagram. But when I'm looking at people's reviews and YouTube videos, I want to know what their experience was knitting it and how it looks on a body. So that was my point in making that video, and I'm glad that a lot of you found it really helpful and that you all found some great patterns along the way too. And if you have not seen on Instagram, I am documenting kind of all my outfits with my tees. And so every time I wear one of my knit tees and I'm styling it, I take a quick photo outside and I throw up on Instagram, and I've saved them on a highlight on my Instagram profile so you can go and look and maybe be inspired. Honestly, I feel like I'm really not a groundbreaking stylist at all. Like, I feel like all I do is just wear a tee and wear like a skirt or dress or shorts or pants with it, or overalls. And I don't know, I feel like I'm not that creative, like not like Megan Kimchi & Co, who's super creative with her styling and super fashionable. But nevertheless, it seems people like to see it, and it's a great way for me to, I think, have a record of my different outfits with it. I am having fun like playing with color a little bit and playing with like different shapes a little bit. So yeah, so if you want to see that kind of thing, head on over to my Instagram. You can check it out. And yeah, so that is it for this week. I will see you all sometime soon. Thank you for watching, and happy knitting.